Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about redefining your fear. At the moment I'm going to share with you something which I'm going through at the very moment, and I must admit I have fear. I have caught the fear. The fear I'm worrying about at the moment is that in 2014 I was diagnosed with skin cancer. It's now 2016, so thankfully everything's still okay, but I have the dreaded checkup to go to. This has been my third or fourth checkup, and it does get easier, but not by very much. So it's something which I'm going to just walk through the symptoms I'm feeling, and hopefully you'll be able to relate to a lot of these. First of all, I'm not sleeping very well anymore. Actually, to be honest, I am a really good sleeper. I can fall asleep anywhere. I'll try not to fall asleep whilst I'm doing this. That's not that good. But I can sleep anywhere, and at the moment I'm finding that the fear is consuming that. I'm having funny dreams. I'm not getting sleep, and not getting sleep means I'm extra tired. And my mind is racing. It will not shut off in the evenings, and it won't shut off at night. My head is too full to sleep. I'm trying to solve problems, but at night time it's one of the worst times. I have resorted now to writing things down to get the thoughts out of my head, and that has worked. So if it works for you, that's one thing which I would strongly suggest. Have a notepad by the side of your bed. The other thing now is I'm starting to lose my appetite, so I've got a double whammy now of not sleeping properly, not eating properly, so I'm depleting my own energies. I'm starting to feel the butterflies, my stomach is in a tight knot. My constitution, unfortunately, when I have fear, it doesn't work very well. Too much information, I will stop there. The thing is that it affects people in individual ways. Also, I know that I'm a little bit more irritable, I'm short-tempered. All of this is going on inside me, it's invisible. That is the thing about fear, it's invisible. Each person carries their own fear with them. You meet somebody in the street, you bump into somebody, you don't know what they're dealing with, you don't know what energy they're having to project to actually keep everything together, to keep it focused, not to just fall apart. People call it lots of different things: butterflies, nervousness, that stomach feeling. If you're a lawyer, I used to be a lawyer, it's that feeling if when that phone call comes of, oh, and the whole of your guts drop out and it just feels horrible. My feeling when I have really, really bad fear is I get a sensation in my teeth, and my teeth almost feel numb. It's a really weird sensation, and it only really happens on that when I have extreme fear like that. So it's difficult. It's invisible. I'm not coming out in a rash. I haven't got any stings. I can't go to the doctor. I can't say, "Doctor, I'm coming down with a dose of the fear. Is there anything you can help me with?" It's all got to be internal, and you've got to then come up with ways and strategies of redefining that fear, from making it from something which is a negative thing to something which is actually going to give you power and help you go through it. I know that actually once this timeline of this appointment has passed, the root cause of my fear is going to disappear. Now, it will either leave me with one or two alternatives. On the other side, there's either going to be good news, which means there'll be relief, excellent. There'll be bad news, okay, I need to come up with an action plan. At that stage, my mind will have moved on to dealing with the result. So it's artificial. If I got a phone call today saying that actually the appointment's been moved for another month or so, my fear would diminish. It's not going to go away because I know it will come back, but that just shows how artificial it is. It's the same for any type of event which you don't want to do or are worried about. It may be having that difficult conversation with your partner or your boss or a co-worker. It may be that thought of actually having to make a leap and do something different, moving job. There's all sorts of things which actually people will fear. The fear will seem very real. Anyone that tells you pull yourself together or anything else, they're not in your head. And this is the important thing, to be able to understand and relate to one another. I used to be a kite surfer, and the brilliant thing about kite surfing was that actually The wind is invisible. You're harnessing an element which you cannot see, and actually you're riding with it. When the conditions are good, when the wind is good, that is when you can harness that strength. And if you haven't tried kite surfing, you should do it. It is an absolute blast. It's the same thing for fear. Fear is invisible, but you can harness it like the kite surfer does, catching it in a kite to propel yourself forward and through the event.